The morning started like most mornings in Oliver Grant's small apartment. The alarm rang before the sun had fully come up, and for a moment Oliver just stared at the ceiling. He felt the familiar weight of tiredness in his bones. Being a single father meant mornings never really felt long enough. From the other room, he heard soft footsteps, followed by a small knock on the half-open door. "Dad, are you awake?" Oliver smiled even before answering. "Yeah, kiddo. Come in." 8-year-old Lily pushed the door open and stepped inside, her hair still messy from sleep and her favorite stuffed rabbit tucked under her arm. She climbed onto the bed beside him and leaned against his shoulder like it was the most natural place in the world. "Did you forget it's Pancake Day?" she asked. Oliver chuckled quietly. "I could never forget Pancake Day. That would be a serious crime." Lily giggled, and for a moment the tiredness faded from Oliver's face. Moments like this were the best part of his day. Life hadn't been easy since the divorce 2 years earlier. Oliver worked long hours delivering appliances for a local store. The job paid enough to keep the lights on and food on the table, but there wasn't much left after that. Still, he never complained in front of Lily. To her, he tried to make life feel normal. Sometimes that meant Pancake Day. The small kitchen soon filled with the smell of butter and batter. Lily sat at the table swinging her feet while Oliver flipped pancakes on the stove. "Don't burn them this time," she teased. "I burned them one time," Oliver said, pretending to be offended. "It was 3 times," Lily replied confidently. He laughed and slid a warm pancake onto her plate. Outside the apartment window, the city was already waking up. Cars moved slowly through the streets, and people hurried to work with coffee cups in their hands. Oliver checked the clock. They were already running late. "All right," he said. "Finish up, little lady. School waits for no one." After breakfast, they rushed out the door. Oliver grabbed his work jacket, while Lily struggled to zip up her backpack. Their car wasn't fancy. It was an old sedan that made a strange rattling sound every time Oliver turned the key. But it worked, and that was what mattered. The drive to Lily's school only took 10 minutes. When they arrived, Lily leaned over and hugged him tightly. "Have a good day, Dad." "You too," he said softly. She jumped out of the car and ran toward the school building, waving once before disappearing inside. Oliver sat there for a moment longer. Watching her walk away always gave him mixed feelings. He felt proud of her, but also a quiet pressure in his chest. Everything he did now was for her. Every long workday, every bill paid late, every sacrifice. But he would never change it. He started the car and headed toward work. The appliance store where Oliver worked was across town. Most days he spent hours driving from house to house delivering refrigerators, washing machines, and ovens. It wasn't glamorous work, but it was honest. Around lunchtime, Oliver stopped at a small grocery store to grab something quick to eat. He parked the truck and stretched his arms, feeling the stiffness from lifting heavy boxes all morning. As he walked toward the entrance, something caught his attention near the edge of the parking lot. A woman sat on the curb beside a shopping cart. Her clothes were worn and slightly too big for her, and her hair looked like it hadn't been brushed in days. But there was something about the way she sat, straight-backed and quiet, that felt different from what people usually expected. She wasn't shouting or asking anyone for money. She was simply sitting there, watching the world pass by. Most people walked right past her, without even looking. Oliver hesitated. He had seen homeless people before, of course. The city had plenty of them. But something about this woman made him pause. Maybe it was the tired look in her eyes. Maybe it was the way she kept her hands folded politely in her lap. Or maybe it was just a memory of his daughter asking him once why some people had nowhere to live. Oliver walked into the store, grabbed a sandwich and a bottle of water, and paid at the register. But as he stepped back outside, he slowed down again. The woman was still there. For a moment, he thought about simply getting into the truck and driving away. Life was busy. He had deliveries waiting. But then he remembered Lily. He walked over. "Excuse me," he said gently. The woman looked up, surprised but calm. "Yes." Oliver held out the small grocery bag. "I grabbed a sandwich. Thought you might want it." She blinked in surprise. "You don't have to do that," she said quietly. "It's no big deal," Oliver replied. For a second, she looked like she might refuse. Then her stomach let out a small, embarrassing growl. She smiled weakly. "Thank you," she said. Oliver sat down on the curb a short distance away, giving her space. The woman opened the sandwich carefully, like it was something valuable. "I'm Oliver," he said after a moment. She nodded slightly. "My name is Claire." Her voice was soft but steady. For a while they sat in silence while she ate. A few people walked past and glanced at them with curious looks. Oliver didn't mind. Finally, Claire spoke again. "You're one of the few people who stopped," she said. Oliver shrugged. Figured everyone deserves lunch. She studied him for a moment, as if trying to understand something. "You have a family?" she asked. "A daughter," Oliver said, smiling slightly. "She's 8. Claire's eyes softened. "She's lucky. I think I'm the lucky one," he replied. For a moment, Claire looked like she wanted to say something else, but she stayed quiet. Oliver checked his watch. "I should get back to work." Claire nodded. "Thank you again for the food." "Take care of yourself," he said. As he stood and walked back to the truck, Oliver felt something he couldn't quite explain. There was something about Claire that didn't match the situation she was in. She didn't seem broken, just lost. The rest of the afternoon passed in a blur of deliveries. By the time Oliver finished work and picked Lily up from after-school care, the sun was already starting to set. Lily climbed into the car excitedly. "Guess what happened today?" she said. "What?" Oliver asked. "We're having a school play next month." "That sounds fun. I want you to come." "I wouldn't miss it," he promised. They drove home while Lily talked about costume songs and which of her friends might forget their lines. When they reached the apartment building, Oliver checked the mailbox on the way inside. Most of it was junk mail and bills. But one envelope stood out. It was thick and cream-colored, the kind used for formal invitations. Oliver frowned slightly and opened it. Inside was a wedding invitation. His chest tightened the moment he read the names. His ex-wife. She was getting married again. Lily looked up at him curiously. "What is it?" Oliver forced a small smile. "Just mail." But as they walked upstairs, he couldn't shake the strange feeling settling in his chest. The invitation wasn't just a notice. It included a personal note written in neat handwriting. It said she hoped he would attend the wedding, and that Lily should come too. Oliver stared at the car again once they were inside the apartment. 2 years had passed since the divorce, but seeing her name still stirred old memories. Good ones, painful ones. He set the invitation down on the kitchen table. Across the room, Lily was drawing pictures with her crayons, humming softly to herself. Oliver watched her for a moment. Life had moved on, whether he liked it or not. But somewhere in the back of his mind, another thought appeared. He remembered the woman sitting quietly on the curb earlier that day. Claire, for reasons he couldn't explain. He had a feeling their paths might cross again, and he had no idea that a simple lunch in a parking lot was about to change far more than just one afternoon. Oliver couldn't stop thinking about Claire as the week went by. Her face kept appearing in his mind, and he realized that he hadn't met anyone like her in a long time. There was something quiet but strong about the way she carried herself. Even when life had clearly knocked her down, he didn't know her story, but he could see that she had been through a lot. One rainy evening, after Lily had gone to bed, Oliver was cleaning up the kitchen when he heard a soft knock at the door. He wiped his hands on a towel and opened it to find Claire standing there, her coat soaked from the rain. She looked cold and tired, but she still smiled politely. "Hi," she said quietly. "Hey," Oliver replied. "Come in. You're wet." She stepped inside hesitantly. Oliver grabbed a spare towel from the rack and handed it to her. She wrapped it around herself like a small shield. "I didn't know where else to go," she admitted. "I didn't want to bother anyone, but it's been raining all day." Oliver looked at her and nodded. "You're not bothering anyone. Sit down. I'll make some tea." While the water heated, Claire looked around the small apartment. It was modest, nothing fancy, but it had warmth. Pictures of Lily on the walls, drawings stuck with tape, and a small bookshelf filled with stories and school books. "You have a nice home," Claire said softly. "It's nothing much," Oliver said, shrugging. "But it's ours." They sat at the small kitchen table. sipping tea. The rain tapped against the windows, making a steady, soothing rhythm. For a while, neither of them spoke. Oliver felt a strange sense of calm, having someone else in the apartment, even though they barely knew each other. Finally, Claire broke the silence. "Thank you for helping me the other day. I don't get offered kindness very often." Oliver looked at her. "We all need help sometimes. Don't think too much about it." She smiled faintly. "It's not just a sandwich. It's, you treated me like a person. Most people don't even see people like me." Oliver didn't have an answer. He had always believed in being fair and treating everyone with respect, but hearing it from her made it feel different. It was like he had touched something fragile that had been ignored for too long. "Do you want to stay dry for a while?" Oliver asked after a pause. "I can let you use the spare room. It's empty. You can change your clothes or just rest." Claire hesitated. "I shouldn't impose." "You're not imposing," he said firmly. "You need shelter and I can help. It's just for a night. That's all." After a few moments, Claire nodded. "Okay, thank you." She took the towel and went into the spare room, which was really just a small guest room Oliver had set up for visiting family. He didn't have visitors often, so it was mostly empty except for a bed and a dresser. Claire closed the door quietly, and Oliver went back to the kitchen to tidy up. The next morning, Claire was already up when he went to the kitchen. She had changed into clean clothes he found in the spare room, a simple set of jeans and a shirt, and looked refreshed despite the long night. "I feel better," she said, sipping the tea Oliver handed her. "I'm glad," he said. "We can figure out your next steps from here." Claire nodded, still a bit hesitant. "I don't have anywhere to go. I don't know anyone who can help me." Oliver thought for a moment. "Well, I could keep you company for now. I'm not sure how long, but at least until we find a better solution. And Lily would love to meet you." Claire blinked. "Your daughter?" "Yes," Oliver said. "She's curious about everything. I think she'd like you." A small smile appeared on her face. "I'd like to meet her too." A few days later, Lily came home from school and was immediately curious about the visitor. "Dad, who's that?" "Lily, this is Claire," Oliver said. "She's staying with us for a little while." Claire waved shyly. Lily approached slowly, studying her. But then Lily's natural friendliness took over, and she offered her stuffed rabbit. Claire smiled, taking the rabbit gently. "Hi, Lily. Nice to meet you," Claire said softly. "Do you like pancakes?" Lily asked suddenly. "I do," Claire replied, laughing lightly. That evening, as Oliver cooked dinner, Lily and Claire chatted about school and favorite books. Oliver watched quietly, feeling a warmth in his chest. It had been a long time since someone new had brought light into their apartment. As the week went on, Oliver and Claire grew more comfortable with each other. She helped with small chores, like folding laundry and organizing the kitchen. She was quiet, but her presence made the apartment feel alive in a different way. One afternoon, Oliver mentioned the wedding invitation he had received. He hadn't told anyone about it yet, but it felt like the right time. "It's my ex-wife's wedding," he said quietly. "She asked me and Lily to come." Claire looked at him thoughtfully. "You're going?" "I'm thinking about it," he admitted. "I don't want to be rude, but I'm not sure I want to walk into that kind of event." She nodded. "I understand. Weddings can be hard when there's history." Oliver hesitated, then spoke the words he hadn't planned. "I was thinking maybe you could come with us." Claire looked startled. "Me?" "Yes," he said. "I don't want to go alone and you'd be a good guest. Plus, Lily would love it." Claire's face turned slightly red and she shook her head. "I couldn't. I'm not dressed for that kind of event, and I don't have anything to wear." Oliver thought for a moment. "We can figure that out. You'll just need a little help. I think you'd enjoy it, and honestly, I think it'd be fun." She hesitated, looking down at her hands. Finally, she said softly, "All right, if you really think it's okay." "It's more than okay," Oliver said. "It'll be nice to have you there." In the days that followed, Oliver and Lily helped Claire prepare. They found a simple but elegant dress at a second-hand store and fixed her hair. Claire's shy confidence grew with every small adjustment, and by the time the wedding day approached, she looked like someone who belonged at the event. The day before the wedding, They sat in the apartment together. Claire was nervous, fidgeting with the fabric of her dress. "Are you sure about this?" she asked. "Yes," Oliver said. "I think it'll be good. You don't have to do anything but be yourself." Claire nodded, a small smile forming. "I hope, Lillian, I don't embarrass you." "You could never embarrass me," he said. "She's excited to meet you, and I'm excited too. It'll be a good day." That night, Claire stayed up later than usual, clearly thinking about what the next day would bring. Oliver watched her from the doorway, feeling a mix of curiosity and hope. He didn't know how Rebecca, his ex-wife, would react to Claire, but for the first time in a long time, he felt like he was bringing someone positive into their lives. The wedding day arrived with bright sun and clear skies. Oliver helped Lily put on her dress, smoothing her hair and fastening a small bow. Claire arrived looking poised and calm, holding her dress carefully as she walked beside them. Oliver felt a strange mixture of excitement and nerves as they approached the wedding venue. He didn't know what to expect, but he knew one thing. He had made the right choice by bringing Claire along. She wasn't just a guest. Somehow, she had already become part of their little family. As they stepped inside, the chatter and laughter of the wedding filled the room. Guests turned their heads as Oliver, Lily, and Claire walked through the doors. Whispers began, but Oliver ignored them. All that mattered was that they were together, ready to face whatever the day had in store. Claire stayed close to Lily, holding her hand and smiling. Oliver felt a sense of pride. They had made it this far, and somehow he knew this day would change more than just the wedding itself. It would change them all. For the first time in a long time, Oliver felt that life might be leading to something better than he had imagined, all because of a simple act of kindness and a brave woman who had accepted it. The wedding venue was a large, bright hall with flowers and lights everywhere. Guests in fancy dresses and suits laughed and chatted, the air buzzing with excitement. Oliver felt a little nervous as he held Lily's hand, walking inside with Claire by his side. He wasn't sure what to expect. Weddings were always filled with old memories, and his ex-wife, Rebecca, would definitely notice them. As they entered, a few heads turned. Oliver felt their gazes, but he kept walking forward. Lily squeezed his hand and whispered, "Don't worry, Dad. I'm glad we're here with Claire." Oliver smiled down at her. "Me too, kiddo." Claire walked beside them with a quiet grace. She looked different from when Oliver had first met her. Her dress was simple but elegant, and her hair was neatly done. There was something about her confidence that seemed natural, not forced. Even though she was nervous, she carried herself with calm poise. Rebecca, Oliver's ex-wife, spotted them almost immediately. Her expression flickered with surprise and a hint of disapproval. She had probably expected Oliver to bring a friendless child, or maybe no one at all. Instead, there was Claire, standing there like she belonged. Guests whispered among themselves, glancing back and forth. Some smiled politely. Some looked curious, but nobody ignored the presence of this unexpected guest. Claire caught Oliver's eyes and gave him a small nod, as if silently saying, "Don't worry." The ceremony began. Flowers lined the aisle, and soft music filled the hall. Oliver and Lily sat together in one row, while Claire found a seat beside them. As the bride and groom exchanged vows, Oliver couldn't help but notice how relaxed Claire seemed. She watched everything with quiet attention, as if she had been to many such events before, but without the pretense that some of the other guests carried. During the speeches, Rebecca's friends tried to make subtle remarks that hinted at the past. Oliver felt a small tension in the room, but Claire's presence beside him made it easier to ignore. She whispered a joke to Lily, making her giggle, and even Oliver found himself smiling. When the reception began, the hall transformed into a lively space with music, dancing, and laughter. Guests mingled, drinks were poured, and the atmosphere became warm and festive. Claire followed along, introducing herself politely to some people and joining Lily in small dances. Her charm was quiet but undeniable. She wasn't loud or showy, yet everyone noticed her. A minor problem arose when the caterer realized a few orders had been mixed up. Claire quickly stepped in, offering a solution in a calm voice. Within minutes, she had helped the situation without making it feel like a big deal. Oliver watched in surprise, realizing she had a skill he hadn't known about. Some guests came over to thank her, intrigued by how composed and intelligent she was. Oliver felt a quiet pride. This was more than just helping someone. Claire was showing her true self to the world. She didn't need to pretend or compete with anyone. She simply was. Lily tugged at Claire's hand, asking her to dance. Claire laughed softly, taking her hand and spinning her gently. The two of them moved across the dance floor, drawing the attention of several guests who couldn't help but smile. It was a scene of innocence and warmth, a stark contrast to the usual tensions of wedding politics. Meanwhile, Oliver found himself talking to a few acquaintances he hadn't seen in years. They noticed Claire's elegance and intelligence, some asking about her background. He realized she had a story to tell, a story they didn't know yet. Claire stayed composed but friendly, answering questions politely without bragging. People were impressed, some even whispering to each other about her past accomplishments. She had a way of commanding respect without demanding it, and Oliver noticed how quickly the energy around her changed. Even Rebecca seemed slightly taken aback. She had expected to have the spotlight, to show off her glamorous wedding and successful life. Instead, Claire naturally drew attention, not through wealth or arrogance, but through her genuine kindness and intelligence. The evening continued with laughter, music, and small moments of connection. Claire engaged with both Lily and other guests, offering small acts of thoughtfulness that left everyone appreciating her presence. Oliver could see the difference she made, not just for him and Lily, but for the atmosphere around them. Her presence had softened the edges of the hall and brought a warmth that had been missing. As the night went on, a few older guests recognized Claire. Their eyes widened in surprise, and they began speaking to her in hushed tones. It turned out that Claire had once worked in event planning for luxury gatherings. She had managed large events, organized ceremonies, and coordinated with high-profile guests before her life had taken a difficult turn. Some of these people remembered her professional reputation and were amazed to see her here. Word spread quietly through the room. Conversations shifted from gossip about the wedding to quiet admiration for Claire's resilience and talent. Guests who might look down on her initially now treated her with respect. Oliver watched, feeling a mix of relief and pride. Claire hadn't done anything to show off, and yet people were naturally drawn to her strength. Lily tugged at Oliver's sleeve. "Dad, look. Everyone likes Claire." "Yes, kiddo," Oliver said softly, watching the scene unfold. "She's incredible." The rest of the night passed with more dancing, laughter, and small conversations that brought unexpected joy. Claire even took a moment to talk to the bride and groom, offering sincere congratulations and kind words. Rebecca noticed, but didn't seem able to regain the attention she expected. For once, the spotlight had shifted. As the wedding came to a close, Oliver felt a deep sense of gratitude. He had taken a chance by inviting Claire, and it had paid off in more ways than he could have imagined. She had not only fit into their little family, but had also shown a side of herself that was quietly powerful, inspiring even those who had initially doubted her. The night ended with guests slowly leaving, exchanging hugs and goodbyes. Claire helped Lily put on her coat, smiling gently at the girl. Oliver felt a sense of peace he hadn't experienced in years. The day had been about more than just a wedding. It had been about connection, kindness, and the unexpected beauty of giving someone a chance. As they walked to the car, Lily held Claire's hand tightly. "Thanks for coming with us," she said. Claire looked down at her, smiling. "Thank you for letting me." Oliver followed behind, feeling a quiet relief. The day had gone better than he could have imagined. He had faced old memories, navigated the tension of the wedding, and discovered something important. Sometimes, the people you least expect can leave the biggest impact. On the drive home, the car was filled with laughter and soft conversation. Lily chatted about her favorite moments. Claire shared small stories from her past, and Oliver listened, feeling a warmth in his chest. Life was unpredictable, but for the first time in a long while, he felt hopeful. He realized that even in challenging circumstances, there were people who could change your life simply by being themselves. By the time they reached their apartment, the city lights twinkling outside the window, Oliver knew this night would stay with him forever. Not because of the wedding, not because of old memories, but because of the quiet strength of a woman who had arrived in his life unexpectedly and stolen more than the show. She had stolen a part of their hearts. The day after the wedding, Oliver and Lily sat at the kitchen table, having breakfast. Sunlight streamed through the window, making the small apartment feel warm and cozy. Claire was there too, helping Lily with her cereal and chatting gently about the previous night. "You dance really well with Lily," Oliver said, smiling at Claire. Claire looked a little embarrassed. "We just had fun. She's full of energy." Lily giggled. "Claire didn't even step on my toes once." They all laughed, and for a moment, it felt like nothing could go wrong. But Oliver noticed a thoughtful look on Claire's face. She seemed lost in her own thoughts, as if remembering something important. "You okay?" he asked. Claire looked up, her eyes soft. "Yes, just thinking about some things." Oliver nodded, deciding not to press. He had learned over the past week that Claire was careful about sharing her past. He trusted that she would open up when ready. Later that morning, a few of the guests from the wedding began calling Oliver. They wanted to know more about Claire. Some had recognized her from her past work in event planning. She had organized high-profile events for years before her life had taken a difficult turn. Her talent had been well known in professional circles, but nobody had expected to see her at a simple wedding like Rebecca's. Oliver listened to the messages, surprised and a little proud. Claire's quiet strength and intelligence were finally getting the recognition she deserved. He realized she had been through more than anyone could imagine, and yet she had never asked for pity or attention. When Claire returned from a quick walk outside, Oliver told her about the calls. Her eyes widened in surprise. "They remembered me?" she asked softly. "Yes," Oliver said. "People are impressed. They want to know more. And honestly, they should be. You're incredible." Claire looked down, fiddling with her hands. "I never expected any of this. I thought people would just ignore me like they always have." "You've always deserved recognition," Oliver said. "Not because of your past, but because of who you are now." Claire smiled faintly. "Thank you. That means a lot." Over the next few days, a few of the guests contacted Claire directly. Some offered her opportunities to help with upcoming events, while others simply wanted to reconnect and share kind words. It was a turning point for her. People who might have judged her before were now curious about her talents and willing to listen. Oliver watched as Claire began to regain her confidence. She walked with a little more poise, smiled more easily, and even laughed freely around Lily. The change wasn't instant, but it was noticeable. The woman who had seemed lost and fragile was slowly reclaiming her life. One afternoon, Claire and Oliver sat on the couch while Lily played with her toys nearby. Claire spoke about her past, the life she had once had before tragedy struck. "I used to plan events for big companies," she said. "I loved it. But everything changed when I lost my husband and business partner. The company fell apart, and I didn't know how to start over." Oliver listened quietly, giving her space to speak. "That must have been hard," he said finally. "It was," Claire admitted. "I didn't know where to go or who to trust. I ended up here on the streets, trying to survive. It was lonely. I didn't want to burden anyone." "You didn't burden anyone," Oliver said firmly. "You deserved help, and now you're getting it. And you're not alone anymore. Lily and I are here, and we care about you." Claire's eyes softened. "It's strange. I never thought I'd feel this welcome again. I forgot what it was like to belong." "That's what family is for," Oliver said gently, "even if it's a small, unconventional one." Lily ran over and hugged Claire, who returned the hug warmly. "See," Oliver said with a smile, "you're already part of our family." Over the next few weeks, Claire began reconnecting with old colleagues and friends she had lost touch with. Some offered to help her get back into event planning, while others simply wanted to support her. She started small, taking on minor projects to rebuild her confidence and skills. Oliver helped where he could, providing encouragement and sometimes practical advice. One day, a message arrived from a former client. They wanted Claire to coordinate a significant charity event. It was exactly the type of work she had once excelled at. She was nervous, but Oliver encouraged her. "You've got this," he said. "You've done it before, and you can do it again. People believe in you." Claire smiled, feeling a mix of excitement and fear. "I hope I haven't forgotten everything." "You haven't," Oliver said. "You just need to start again." Lily chimed in, "I think you'll be amazing. You helped everyone at the wedding, remember? Claire laughed softly. Thanks, kiddo. That means a lot. As she took on more projects, Claire began to regain her independence. She still stayed close to Oliver and Lily, but she no longer relied on them in the same way. She was building her own life while remaining part of theirs. Oliver watched with pride as she grew stronger, more confident, and happier. One evening, as the three of them sat together after a long day, Claire reflected on how far she had come. I never thought I'd be able to do this again, she said quietly. I didn't think I'd have another chance. You earned it, Oliver said. You didn't give up, even when it was hard, and you didn't let the world make you bitter. That's something rare. Claire smiled, feeling a warmth she hadn't felt in years. She looked at Lily, who was dozing off with her head on her lap, and felt a deep sense of belonging. She realized that kindness, trust, and second chances could truly change lives. Over time, Claire's story became a quiet inspiration to those around her. People admired her resilience, and she reminded them that everyone deserves a chance to reclaim their life. For Oliver, it was a lesson, too. Helping someone when they needed it most could create bonds that would last a lifetime. As the weeks turned into months, life in their small apartment settled into a comforting routine. Claire continued to work on events. Lily grew more confident in school, and Oliver found joy in simple moments, like pancake mornings and evening chats with both of them. Their unconventional little family had found its rhythm. One night, after putting Lily to bed, Oliver and Claire sat on the balcony, looking at the city lights. Do you ever think about how things could have been different? Oliver asked. Sometimes, Claire said, but I've learned that life doesn't always go as planned. Sometimes the detours are the most important part. Oliver nodded. I think this detour brought something good into our lives. You helped me see that even when things seem hard, kindness and courage can make a difference. Claire smiled, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. And you reminded me that I'm not alone, that I still have worth and can start again. They sat quietly for a while, watching the city glow beneath them. Life wasn't perfect, and there were still challenges ahead. But for the first time in a long time, both of them felt a sense of hope and belonging that they hadn't experienced in years. And in that small apartment, filled with laughter, warmth, and the promise of new beginnings, they realized that sometimes life's most unexpected encounters could change everything for the better. Months passed since the wedding, and life in their small apartment had settled into a comfortable rhythm. Oliver's workdays were long, but coming home to Lily and Claire made everything worthwhile. The laughter, small stories, and quiet evenings became the foundation of their days. Claire had fully become part of their lives, her presence filling a space that had once felt lonely and uncertain. One morning, Oliver was making breakfast while Lily and Claire set the table. The sunlight streamed through the window, highlighting the warmth in the apartment. Claire hummed softly, and Lily bounced excitedly around the kitchen. Dad, Claire said she's helping at a big charity event today. Lily said, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. Oliver smiled, flipping a pancake. That's right. She's been offered a lead role in organizing it. People really believe in her now. Claire laughed softly. I'm just trying to make a difference. It's been a long journey to get here, but it feels good. Lily ran over and hugged her. I'm proud of you, Claire. That means a lot, kiddo, Claire said, smiling down at her. She had grown into a confident, graceful woman again, yet her kindness remained unchanged. The day passed with Claire heading off to the charity event, Oliver at work, and Lily at school. When the evening arrived, Claire returned, looking tired but happy. She shared stories of how smoothly the event went and how people appreciated her guidance. Oliver listened quietly, proud of the person she'd become. As weeks turned into months, Claire began taking on more projects. She received invitations from former clients and new ones who had heard about her remarkable comeback. Her life slowly transformed from uncertainty and struggle to purpose and opportunity. She was building a career again, one step at a time, but she never forgot the small apartment that had offered her refuge and the family that had given her hope. One evening, as the three of them sat together after dinner, Lily asked Claire about her future plans. What do you want to do next? Lily asked innocently. Claire paused, thinking carefully. I want to continue helping with events, but I also want to mentor young people who are struggling, just like I did. I want them to know that they can start over too. Oliver nodded. That's a wonderful goal. And you'll do amazing things, I'm sure of it. Lily grinned. I hope I can help too. Claire laughed. You already help more than you know, Lily. As the weeks went by, the bond between Oliver, Lily, and Claire grew stronger. They celebrated small victories together. Claire landing her first big event since a comeback. Lily doing well in school, and Oliver receiving recognition at work for his dedication. Their apartment, once quiet and ordinary, became a place full of warmth, laughter, and shared stories. One weekend, Claire received a message from a former mentor. They wanted to collaborate on a large-scale community event. Recognizing her talent and leadership, Claire was excited but nervous. She confided in Oliver and Lily. I don't know if I'm ready for something this big, she admitted. You're ready? Oliver said firmly. Look at everything you've accomplished. You've turned challenges into opportunities. You can do this. Lily hugged her tightly. You're brave, Claire. I know you'll make it amazing. With their encouragement, Claire accepted the project. She spent the next few weeks planning, coordinating, and leading her team. Oliver and Lily offered support where they could, helping with small tasks and cheering her on. The event was a success, and Claire received heartfelt praise from everyone involved. She realized that her life had truly turned a corner, thanks to the kindness, trust, and support she had received. One evening, after a particularly long day, the three of them sat on the balcony, looking out at the city lights. There was a comfortable silence between them, filled with the kind of peace that comes after challenges are overcome. You know, Claire said softly, I never thought I'd feel this happy again. I never thought I'd have people I could count on. You do, Oliver said. We're here and we always will be. Lily leaned against Claire, smiling sleepily. I'm glad you're part of our family. Claire's eyes filled with warmth. I'm glad too. You've given me hope, trust, and a second chance. I can't thank you enough. Oliver reached out and took her hand. You don't need to thank me. We all needed each other in different ways. You gave us joy too. That night, as they went to bed, there was a sense of contentment that had been missing from their lives for years. Life wasn't perfect, but it was better than they had imagined. They had faced challenges, uncertainty, and past wounds, but they had emerged stronger and more connected. In the weeks that followed, Claire continued to thrive professionally and personally. She became a mentor for others facing struggles, offering guidance, encouragement, and practical advice. Her story quietly inspired people around her, showing that resilience, kindness, and courage could change lives. Oliver continued his work, but he found more joy in small moments with Lily and Claire. Whether it was pancake mornings, evening walks, or quiet conversations on a balcony, he cherished the ordinary moments that now felt extraordinary. Lily continued to grow into a bright, curious child. She loved sharing stories about school, helping Claire with her events, and spending time with her dad. The bond between the three of them deepened, becoming a source of strength and comfort. One afternoon, Claire received a message from a former client she had helped at the wedding months ago. They wanted to feature her story in a local magazine, highlighting her journey from hardship to success. She was hesitant at first, but decided it could inspire others. Oliver encouraged her. Your story deserves to be told. It could help so many people. Claire agreed, and the article was published. People reached out to her, expressing admiration for her resilience and gratitude for the hope she represented. Claire realized that her life had not only been rebuilt, but had also become meaningful in ways she had never imagined. One evening, after reading messages of encouragement, Claire turned to Oliver and Lily. I never expected my life to look like this. I thought I'd be forgotten, struggling on my own, but now I have hope, purpose, and family. You have all that because you earned it and because we believed in you, Oliver said softly. Lily hugged both of them. We're family. That means we always help each other. The three of them sat together, holding hands, feeling the warmth of love, trust, and second chances. Life had given them unexpected paths, challenges, and surprises, but they had found joy in each other's presence. They had built a home, a family, and a life filled with kindness and hope. As the city lights twinkled outside the window, they knew that the journey wasn't over. There would be challenges ahead, but they would face them together. They had learned the power of compassion, courage, and connection, and they carried it into every day. In the end, it wasn't just about surviving hardship or finding opportunities. It was about believing in people, giving chances, and allowing life's unexpected encounters to transform hearts. Oliver, Lily, and Claire had discovered that true family isn't defined by blood, but by love, trust, and the willingness to stand by each other. Their story was a reminder that even in the most difficult times, hope can be found, and a single act of kindness can change lives forever. And in their small apartment, filled with laughter, warmth, and dreams of the future, they knew they found something priceless: a life rebuilt, hearts healed, and a family created through courage, love, and second chances.